So in this video, I'm going to discuss just how to create these custom post formats in Slack. So when you send your information from Google Sheets over into Slack, you can make it look really nice and put together, really buttoned up. So that's what we'll be going through in this video. So the first thing that you want to do is probably let's go into the Blockkit editor. So let's kind of figure out what we want this to look like. In here, Slack makes it really easy to build a message. So I will do, let's go and let's get a header. Maybe we'll do two headers. We'll throw in a divider, and we can visually put these together. And then let's do maybe text fields. So I'm going to go through and only do two of these. Oh, I accidentally did that. All right, so I'm going to put this up here, and then maybe we'll have an image down below here. So let's do no title. Oops. Okay. So this header is going to say let's just do sales report, and then we could do something like what's a good Slack emoji? Some sort of money. Let's do money bag. So if we do money bag there, we can do that. So we got the sales report, and then we can have today's sales are, and then I'm just gonna put input 1 just so I have, oops, I misspelled input. So this is just a variable that I'm putting in that I can then later fill. So I'm gonna put that is, and you can put whatever variable you want in here, but this is just how I do it. So let's do, that's today's sales, and we can do yesterday's sales, whoops, were, and then we can do input 2. Oops, it started typing down there. Put 2. So let's just try that. And then with the image URL, I'm just going to put that as input 3. And it's showing an error because the downloading didn't work. Okay, so now that we have this, we can see, oh, and I want this header block to be probably sales by channel. We'll do a sales by channel graph. Okay, so now that I have this payload, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit copy payload, and then I'm going to go to my existing Google Sheet. And here I just have an example dashboard that you might have. So you might have something like this in your Google Sheet. But we're going to go to a blank sheet here, and we're going to do, okay, so we're going to have the payload template, which is what we just copied to our clipboard. So I'm going to paste that here, and then it's going to make that into a huge cell. We're probably going to want to resize that back down to 21. But then we can have that as, like, we know that that's an important cell. The next thing we want to do is we want to have our variables. So let's do, we want to add in our variables. So I'm just going to do this all in one other cell, and that'll be our actual posting cell. So this will be our posting cell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the replace function. So replace, and what the replace function does is you can take text, so you can take the template text, substitute. That's what we want to use. We want to use substitute. So we search text, we search for a specific term or word, and then we replace it with a different term or word. So we can search this text. We can search it for, let's do input 1. We can replace that with, so that was today's sales. So let's go to today's sales, and we're gonna want to format this as, right now this is an integer, so we want to format this as text. And how we're gonna do that is just with the text function, do parentheses or do quotes, and then do $0, $0, or 000, and this gives us that typical money format. Whoops, there we go. Okay, so if we were to just do this, oh, it's gonna do the long cell thing, so let's resize this again. All right, and so I'm gonna make this blue just so I know that this is what we're posting. So you can see here we actually have this entire all the JSON in here that is from this payload. So let's just see what happens. We only replaced input. We only replaced input 1 with today's sales are. So we'll go back to my existing sheet. Let's go to Sheets to Slack app, and you'll see that we already have our webhook in there. And then let's test this out. So let's do B7, and we're on sheet 1. All right, and it's looking like that didn't work. So probably have an issue here. I'm curious what happens. So let's troubleshoot. B4. What is that? Did that work? That didn't work either. Okay. So what I'm guessing is happening is I'm guessing that the image is the error is happening with the image. So let's do something different. Let's get rid of the image. We'll circle back around to the image. Let's copy this payload, and then all we'll do is paste a new payload in here. All right, so now let's try B7 again. Okay, so that worked. Okay, so the issue is that it was trying to download an image from a URL that didn't exist, and so that was throwing an error. That makes sense. Okay, so now we have today's sales are 15,241. And actually, in our example dashboard, we don't have yesterday's sales, but we have like weekly and monthly sales. So let's just do what our weekly sales are. Okay, so again, I'm gonna go back into here, and then instead of yesterday's sales were, I'm gonna say this week's sales. Week's sales are, and then we will have the second input. So let's copy that payload, go back, go in here, highlight that all, and paste the new payload, and you can see this week's sales. Okay, and so we've substituted input 1, and so if we highlight that, we can see that the output is this new formatted text. What we can actually do is we can use that again on the new text. So we can do substitute, and then we're using this now as the text to search, and then we can search for input 2, and then we can replace that with let's just take this text format that I already have written out, and then instead of B9 we want B17. So B17, there we go. Then we're going to throw another bracket, or we're going to throw another parentheses on there, and then this should be good. So let's test it, B7. There we go. So now we have today's sales, this week's sales, and so then let's actually add an image. So what we can do now is we're going to add another header. So we'll say sales by channel, and then we'll use the image with no title, and then we'll add this as input 3. Input 3. Okay, it's going to show an error right now, but that's okay. So let's copy that payload, and then again update the payload template, And then how we're going to get the image in there is by clicking here. I'm going to say publish chart. Very important that you change this to image. And then you're going to hit publish, copy that URL, and then we're going to yes, and we're going to do another substitute. And then we're going to search for input 3. Don't forget to, I put brackets around it. You don't have to. And then I'm going to paste that URL. And then that should give us the image. So let's test that. And sure enough, we have traffic. We have sales by traffic. I guess I said sales by channel, but you get the idea. So that's how you create. You can create these more customized posts in Slack, and you can see how we would get from something like this to very quickly something like this, where you can have like a weekly website report. You can integrate with Google Analytics and get kind of real live updates. You can do something like this and integrate with Salesforce. Can do some sort of forecasting if you have that living in Google Sheets. It's very simple. So this is, it's not the most straightforward. So I did, as part of creating a more premium version with like slash commands and unlimited, you can use it on unlimited sheets. As part of like the premium Google Sheet, I went ahead and created a visual post builder. So that makes this a little bit easier. So this is what the visual post builder looks like. I wrote a bunch of formulas to make it really easy. So all you have to do is, instead of trying to do the replace function and figuring out the inputs, all you do is you select like header, image, text, and then for this one, like my header was the money bag for the sales report, and then today's total sales, and you can see excuse me, how I did that in each individual cell. Makes it really easy, and you can actually see how it comes together. You can do buttons, the image, you would just paste the URL here instead of in the formula. And so then you would just, shows you that you should use D9. So if we go ahead and create the trigger, let's try post builder, D9. You'll see what this looks like. Let's see. Oh, that's giving me an error. I think I actually have it set up as a slash command too, so I can show you what that looks like when it is working. So this is what it looks like. You get the sales report, you get the sales analysis, and you can put some text in there, and then you get the chart and the button. So that's what the visual post builder looks like. If you want to opt for like the premium sheet, that would be included along with the full source code that you can copy and paste into any Google Sheet. And then I'll also do a setup call with you just to make sure that you're on the right track and everything's working. So I hope this helps. Again, I'll post the link to the BlockKit builder in the video description and on my website as well. It's a super great tool from Slack. And then yeah, you can create custom posts and really create some cool visuals for people to see. Well, I hope this helps.